Thank you, Sanju. It's very great pleasure that I'm here in front of all of you. Many of you I know very well. Many of you I met a few times. Many of you are strangers to me. But it has been only 3 months since I have joined as ambassador to India in Sweden. And already it is a wonderful journey. And as I can see it, I may have less experience, but with fresh eyes, I can already see a lot of new perspectives that are emerging in our partnership. And therefore, I thank Sanju for organizing this wonderful event. I start with acknowledging our Minister Gadkari, who is going to join virtually, and State Secretary Sara Modik, who is going to join us shortly, and also my friend, dear colleague, and ambassador of Sweden to India, Jan Theslev, who's also going to join virtually. I also look at some of my friends from Swedish ministry, some excellencies, my past colleagues in Swedish foreign ministries. There's some innovators I see, a lot of business leaders, friends of India. I see some from academia. And there are some fellow Indians who have traveled all the way from India to Stockholm and who have also joined virtually. Thank you very much to all of you. Your presence is very valuable and we really value it. Friends, when I came here, I was told of two things. One was that India-Sweden Innovation Day is the highlight of our bilateral engagement. And certainly, it's a very path-breaking initiative. The second thing I was told was, never speak after Robin Sukhia, because once he speaks, there's not much that you can add to it thereafter. So, but here I am, never been able to avoid speaking after him. And so I have to navigate through the next 5-6 minutes, trying to add some value and some wisdom to the words that Robin has already spoken. I start by commending the organizers, that includes myself as well, for the topic that we have decided on green mobility. I think this is certainly one of the most pertinent issues that humanity needs addressing in terms of logistics, in terms of taking people from point A to point B. And it's never more important than India, where you have 1.5 billion people, currently at $3,000, growing rapidly at about 7% an annum, and really thirsting for the goods, services, and the quality of life that many of us in Stockholm enjoy. And these are the kind of demand upsurge in the next few decades that is going to throw us a challenge as to how we can meet these aspirations and expectations in a sustainable, in a prudent, and in a responsible manner, and of course at an efficient manner as well. I therefore find comfort in many of the Swedish companies who are in India, such as Volvo, who have been for decades our partners in progress, our partners in development, and who know the country very well. And therefore, I think it's a very apt topic and something that hopefully we will see a lot of thoughts being come about in the course of proceedings. We in India already are working very hard to develop solutions that are innate to India, that answers to our problems, and that support sustainability, while at the same time seeking to meet the aspirations of the Indians. I think that includes here, and especially Mr. Gadkari has been very pioneer in many of the initiatives that Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has taken, among other ministries as well, but in particular his ministry, in terms of promoting green mobility, ethanol blending and all that, renewable integration, and sustainable road construction being some of the initiatives. Friend, before I say anything, it is also important to know that India is a very vibrant democracy. And there are elections always around the corner. There's another state election that is going to come up shortly. And there is always this ferment of political activity going on in India, to create that kind of buy-in among Indian people by Indian politicians is always a very challenging task. And therefore, the reform steps that Minister Gadkari ji has taken under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi, of course, therefore deserves a greater appreciation. And I think, Mr. Bali and Mr. Mari, you will probably understand very well the internal dynamics of India. So there we are. The second point I want to make is that Innovation Day is a very pertinent event, simply because innovation is at the heart of the very development that has taken place in Sweden. And I think over the years, Swedish has developed itself as a leader in innovation. It's number 2 in the world, but I think there's hardly any difference between number 1 and number 2, so we'll presume it's number 1. But certainly, the consistency with which it has been number 1 and number 2 deserves an appreciation of its own. And in the 3 months that I have been, and I've traveled a little bit, not so much, because despite the fact that there is a very nice summer, every Swedish disappears from Stockholm. So I was left alone to appreciate the beauty of Stockholm. But now that the busy season has started, probably I'll have more time to interact with all of you and with the great institutions you have. But whatever little I could do, it has left a very deep impact on me. The way the academia, the government, and the private sector works together, intertwined in pursuit of a common objective, which is what is called triple helix, I think is something very commendable. And for us, in today's world, innovation, of course, has suddenly become one of the most important objective of development in any country. And I think the way the technologies are evolving, there has never been a time where innovation has not been of greater importance. And I think Indian government is also making similar effort at making innovation the heart, the center, heart, and the front of our developmental metrics. And so I think you would see that. And that was not just now. From 2014, I think PM Modi had preempted this issue, that this is going to happen. And therefore, I think there have been multiple missions. I think Prime Minister Modi himself has been very keen on seeing that India moves along on the innovation highway. And this has been reflected in the ranking, improvement in ranking that that we are seeing. I won't, after telling you that Sweden is number 2, I'm not going to say what is our rank, but it's certainly improving. That much I can say. But it's not also easy, of course, because we have this legacy of socialist economy. And I think to jumpstart from that and to move towards the path that Sweden has already taken is somewhat difficult one. And this is where I think we should look at Sweden as an example, not just because Sweden is a pathbreaker, but also because India and Sweden enjoys a very long history. I think India's history is spanning decades. And there are not many countries where I know where people know India so well. I mean, many of the companies, such as Volvo itself, but there are many other, IKEA and all that, they have been there for decades. They know Indians very well. Half of them, they actually behave like Indians, right? Right, you included, right? So it's very easy, and I think it's very. Therefore, it is a very natural partnership, and it is also a very complementary partnership. I mean, on one hand, you have Sweden with innovation at its heart, with bouquet of technologies, with innovative thinking, with hard processes. And on the other hand, you have India, where you have the skill, and you have a huge talent pool, and you have also now that there is a wherewithal also and the desire to move along on this. So I think it is a very natural complementarities between the two countries, and this is something we need to take advantage of. There are a lot of Indian companies are also here. There are 80 of them, if I'm not mistaken. There could be a little more. But I think overall, what I see is there is a lot of upside on our partnership. At the same time, Government of India itself has been working very hard on giving an impetus to the innovation both within the governance, but also in the private sector. For example, recently, Prime Minister Modi set up Anusandhan National Research Foundation, which is chaired by Prime Minister itself. So it's a Hindi word, but in English it would be National Research and Innovation Foundation. And under this Prime Minister's own chair, we have set up a fund called RDI Fund, which is a Research Development and Innovation Fund. And a corpus of about $12 billion has been set up to promote innovation, especially in deep technologies. Sorry? Time? Is it over? You promised me 9 minutes, right? And I have just started.
Okay.
I've got 4 more sheets to go, right?
Okay. Please go on.
And I have a diplomatic immunity, right? You know that. I've just warmed up. Okay. So anyhow, the point is that there is a fund which is about a $12 billion fund, and I think that the objective is to scale up R&D, innovation in strategic and emerging sectors, aligning with the vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. In India, that is Atmanirbhar, which is self-reliant, globally competitive, and deeply invested in deep tech areas with strong private sector participation. I think some of the areas that we both need to work are clean energy, AI, smart cities, digital health, sustainable mobility, advanced materials, and the circular economy. I think we can also focus on, and we have already working on, so I'll include areas such as IT services, pharmaceutical, and advanced manufacturing as well, which is advanced meaning smart manufacturing, new technologies, AI-enabled manufacturing. These are some of the areas that we could take advantage of Government of India's own initiative. Before I conclude, I have to just inform you that about the AI summit that is going to take place shortly in February, and I invite all of you to participate in that, to bring your friends along. This carries forward the process of global AI summits that have happened earlier in Korea and France, I think, and I really look forward to a huge delegation from South Sweden to make its presence felt in this AI summit. Before I end, Sanju, I can end now?
Yes.
Okay. So before I end, I have to tell you that that innovation, that I'm so glad to be at the Innovation Day. Not just because it's such a prestigious event, but also because I've got to introduce myself to all of you. When I got appointed as ambassador, usually government are not well known for putting right people in right job, right? But when I was posted as ambassador of India to Sweden, the first thing I realized was what a marvelous thing it was, because they found the right person for this job. As a chemical engineer, I started my career in Thermax, which was a chemical engineering company. And I started my career in Chinchwad, Pune, where all these beautiful Swedish companies were located. Alfa Laval and all those, I don't know, I don't remember, but there were so many Swedish companies that were located all over Pimpri-Chinchwad belt. And that gave me the first insight into how great the culture of manufacturing, of innovation, of experimentation, and especially for such a small country, to take the courage to go to India, to go to other parts of the world and conquer it. I think that is something that is very, very important. And as we march along on the path that has already been broken by Swedish, I think we should look at their example. And I think India Innovation Day provides one such occasion where we need to. Thank you, Sanju. Before you push me off the stage, I need to conclude. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause for Ambassador.